Kind of Jim Nation rolled up. He's the VP of planning. He's a friend of mine. Jimmy's cousin.
He's in charge of the cranberry branch too? That's where I am with it.
He's in charge of one of mainland Washington. He's in charge of all.
Okay.
I mean, the space up Washington.
Yeah.
I told Jimmy, I said, close everything I got. I don't trust her.
Extra one here.
I can see you're gonna open at your accounts and everything.
Breaker
Jack, let me
19.
know when you're ready. Cecil Township Parks and Recreation Board meeting agenda, Thursday, November 3rd, 2022. In attendance, Dan Ewigard and staff, Stephanie Gee, Barb Russman, Jason Wheeler. Wendy is absent at the time being. Nobody in teleconference. Jack King is Township representative. No guests in the audience tonight. Meeting called to order at 6:38. We have any public comments? Nope. Agenda items, meeting minutes for October 6, 2022, meeting submitted for board approval. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Jason, second.
Second.
Arden, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. You good, Barb?
Here, Penwick? Yeah, thanks.
Financial status update. Jack, do you have anything for us?
Up here. Basically, the Trail of Treats, we did fairly well. I mean, well, actually, we didn't do, sorry. Fall Festival, we did well. Bottom line is about 4,600 in total in the concession stand. I don't think we've ever done that much, including all the food trucks. And we still have, basically, we replenished the account from what we started with at the beginning of the year. So going into 2023, basically with the same balance of about 54,000 in that park account.
Okay, Trail of Treats. Does anybody have anything to add for Trail of Treats? Any way we can improve? Any ideas if we want to add anything, I guess you can say?
I think we could tighten it up to 2.5 hours instead of 3, but that's just me.
What I guess Jack kind of noticed is people were kind of just coming at a time that their convenience was. At certain times, we had a line going out into the parking lot.
Okay.
Three times we had a line where people were telling us that they were early, they were late, and some people were, they were coming down, they were in the playground, and they were coming down at the appointed time, jumping in front of all those people, and they were, those people were like, well, I was here first. He's like, I'm sorry, she slotted for this, I think this year we went to 10-minute slots, and in previous years we were at
They win.
20-minute slots. And I just want to consider going back to something like that and stretching it out a little bit more. It was just 3 times, but it was almost predictable. The first wave, people came in. It was right at the beginning, and people were saying, "Well, I'm early," and I'm a couple, I'm about a half hour early. And what I was trying to do is just pace them through, so it would have been a steady stream. But maybe we can look at that again next year and go to 20-minute slots instead of 10.
Was there a lot of people at the end, though? It seemed like that was kind of...
There was a wave that came in around 3:30, and most of those were not registered.
Okay.
So, and I think I gave everybody statistics on that. We had 323 registered,
93, those did not show up or register, which is still a lot.
Right.
And then we still have a lot that's registered that's not attending. 72 attended, no, I'm sorry. 93 didn't show up, 72 attended but did not register.
Right.
So it's still putting us over 300. So we still have a lot of people like signing up but not showing up. 93, that's a good amount of people. So
Yeah.
Can't blame it on the weather.
No, the weather was absolutely perfect.
And, I mean, we didn't have a parking issue either. I mean, you know, had people stayed with those time slots, you know, I want to say Donna and I had about 10 people that came around and said, we didn't register, we came in from the other end. And, you know, at some point, we talked about putting a sign out there saying registration at the other end. I locked that gate, when we locked both of those gates so that people couldn't just come in. There was no information down there whatsoever, forcing people to come down to this parking lot. But, you know, people are going to do what they do, you know, and it just, you know.
I did send out an email to everybody that was registered, though, telling them. I mean, you guys should have gotten it since your kids were
Yeah,
registered.
I got it, that's for sure. The day before. Anything, Wendy, do you have anything to add for the trail of treats?
Oh, I mean, I think it went really well. I don't know how we get around getting people to show up that signed up without, you know, being negative to them about, hey, if you're not going to show up, don't sign up, you know? I don't know how you fix that problem.
It seems like it's also with Easter, too. Every time we have a registration, we always have an abundance of people that don't.
Sign up just in case.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't because of the weather this year, that's for sure, so.
I wonder sometimes if we send it out too early, that people have good intentions and sign up early, and then when they get close to it, they, you know, they decide not to go. But, I mean, do we have anything that says, hey, if you want to cancel, you know, let us know as well?
I think in that email, I thought I seen something if you need to cancel or reschedule, but I could be, maybe that was last year I was thinking.
I'll have to look, because that application does let you easily cancel.
Yeah, because we had a couple people drop out and then somebody jumped back on in that one time slot, so.
I'll look at it.
If you want to put my phone number on there, they can leave a message, and, you know, I'll check them off. That's fine. I mean, I had two between Friday and Saturday that I know of called. One person forgot their time slot, and, you know, the other one said that they weren't coming, so.
And I did get in and cancel the membership, so you're not going to get charged next month.
Say that again?
I canceled the subscription to that application.
I meant all week to call you and say, we're going to do this. Sorry. Week slipped through my hands.
Well, I almost wonder if some of it is, you know, you go on Facebook, you see events. I'm interested.
Yeah.
I do it. I'm interested, and so you get like a reminder of it. Then half the time you don't go.
But they all.
But I know,
actually
I know they
signed
have
up,
to
yeah.
sign up. I just wonder if it's kind of that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
You know.
There always seems to be like a 2 to 3 week like hype where I notice we get a lot more activity on our later posts, like 2 weeks out from an event, we'll reach a lot more people.
We can try posting it, say, you know, we're going to post things 2 weeks ahead of the event. Because I had it out there like a month ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see if that helps.
Were we one of the later townships this year? Because I think people get candied out too. if
Worcester
they
Brain
go-
had it the same as us, and then I know Washington did the weekend or that weekend right before, that Saturday, Sunday right before Halloween. I'm not sure about the other ones, to be honest with you.
Oh, they have their school stuff. Yeah, people get,
There's a lot of trunk or treats, but I think that's what's
There are a lot.
also hurt trick or treating at night.
Yeah, like, that's what people were saying. They didn't run out of candy. They didn't have enough trick-or-treaters. I was like, they have like 7 trunk or treat worth
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
candy.
I saw another one over at, in McDonald. I can't think of the name of
oh, the trail.
the plumbing place back there tucked away. You know where Fort Cherry Ambulance is? And you go to that intersection, you make a right, you go across the tracks, and it'll take you back to McDonald. I can't think of, Xeris owns that plumbing and supply place back there.
Oh, Pyramid.
Pyramid, yeah, and they were supposed to have trunk or treats back there too.
They had something on the trail that Always Safe sponsored.
Oh, okay.
I think
Dan,
that was
you-
Halloween night, or they had a parade the Saturday.
That was that weekend, yeah. That was kind of the weekend after ours.
I still think we had that was a good time, like a week before.
They had one last Tuesday at Texas Roadhouse in Washington. We went there to go eat. And I pulled them, what's all these cars for? And they had them all lined up. They had trunk or treat up there even.
On
Crown
November
Center
1st?
had one, and I asked Frost Ferry, because they participated in it, and I asked her how many they had come through up at Crown Center, and she said about 300.
Wow.
Well, it's one thing I do notice, even though we only have around that 20 to 22 tables, the tables bring a lot of stuff for the kids. I mean, them kids, they bring a bag or a basket, and it's full just with the 20 tables that we have, so.
Yeah.
all in all, I think it's very well. I'd love to see about 25 tables, maybe something. I'm not quite sure if we can set something else up. You know, like I was saying in the beginning, if all these kids get all dolled up and some of them are wearing face makeup and everything else, and they're kind of through that trail in about 10, 15 minutes. I'm wondering if there's anything we could add. Maybe we push it back later, and then we were discussing about, maybe doing one of the movie nights on that night, and, or something. But I don't know. It's something we keep in the back of our minds for sure.
Just as a thought, maybe we can make it later in the evening, make it dark time, and actually decorate, the trails with lights and that type of thing. Possibly a movie at the end where, we would have drinks and popcorn or something, minimal. I mean, I'd like to see it in the evening, but that's just me.
Anybody else have anything else? All good? Light Up Night, December 10th, 2022. Just got a couple questions, kind of a ping off of you, Jack. Do we know if that plug outlet got fixed by the tree?
Yeah, I thought they raised that up and fixed it last year.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're good, with all the plugs and the outlets and.
Yeah, how that filled up with water, I don't know. They don't know. But what they did was they resealed the whole thing. It should be airtight now. So I don't think it's going to short out. They did, they fixed everything that needed to be fixed. So.
Guess another question would be, do we want to set up the trees this year along with the pavilion lights? We do have all them trees that got donated. I know some of them even said, hey, the lights still work on this tree, just plug them in. So kind of up to you guys. Ideally, yeah, I'd like to see a couple of trees in the park, maybe by the stage or something else.
You'd have to anchor them down.
Right.
When would we be doing this, like, before Thanksgiving? When did we do it last year?
Well, Light Up Night, December 10th. So, I mean, if we can set that up any time, and then we'll just actually set the, turn the lights on around that date if the township's okay with that.
Yeah, I think we should have, it took a while. Didn't it take a couple?
About 2 hours, 3 hours, I think, when we set that up.
But yeah, we'll have to get some sort of, like, tent stakes. I have a couple of, the big ones like that have like the plastic lip on it, so, because those things have the
Anchor
metal
'em
legs,
down.
right? So you can anchor them down.
Do you want wire or braided cord? Braided cable, or what do you want to anchor it with?
I could probably bring in one, they're like a 10-inch stake.
Yeah, what I'm saying is from the stake to the tree to anchor it. To,
No, just anchoring right to the ground.
through the
Because they
stand.
have like the
metal
metal,
frame.
the metal stand, right?
Got it.
Just stake them down, because they're gonna blow over.
That's another thing. We've got to check to see how many have metal stands. Do we need to get metal stands? If so, how big ones do you want? Those types of things. We got to check those. I don't know. I haven't been through them to see what kind of what came with those trees. I know that Laurel Zimba gave us a 12-foot tree.
Yeah, that's a tall one, that big
That thing
one.
is heavy.
And you'll need a ladder, because I got one in my living room, so you'll need a ladder for that one.
12-foot back there. So
And I think also I would put cable, like some kind of tie down with those up
For
in the
wind.
middle of the tree.
yeah, for wind.
Yep.
All right, now let's consider this. Just throwing it out there. What about vandalism? We don't have cameras out there yet, but there's a possibility. After seeing what the artwork these kids have done in these bathrooms,
Has there been a history of that kind of stuff during wintertime? Or is it more in summertime?
Well, they lock the bathrooms up in the winter, so.
Yeah, on that
Running
note,
period.
let me take a side route here, just so you know. I talked to Bill today. They're going to leave the water on for probably another week. They're watching the weather. It's probably going to be 70, not this weekend, but the following next weekend, and it's supposed to start heading south with the weather. What they have to do is they have to drain all the pipes and blow them out, so there's no freezing whatsoever. So that's probably going to happen, not this weekend, but after next weekend. It'll probably be Monday or Tuesday they're going to start on that. So that'll be middle November. There will be porta-johns out there, and RMC does switch those out almost on a weekly basis. So if you heard any complaints about this porta-john here at the Fall Festival, I heard about it, and they said that they had switched it out, so I don't know what the complaint was. It wasn't overflowing, it wasn't, unusable, but that's the report that I got. So there will be porta-johns in the park. It's just the bathrooms will be locked.
On either end still.
We still
Correct.
not have like a security cameras or anything?
We don't, not yet. I'm still trying to get grants for that. Township doesn't want to pay for that yet. It would do us, it would help, because actually what I would do is I would put that camera on our webpage, and anybody at all could see what's going on there. And it would be recorded over in the police department.
What, you mean like a live feed?
Yeah.
How much is that? Like what?
For the cameras and, and cabling and that type of stuff, granted it'd be Wi-Fi, but, there would have to be certain setup out there. They're looking anywhere between 20 and 30,000 to put, they want to put 8 cameras out there, or 6 at a minimum, so to cover the entire park. I mean, that way we could catch kids going in and out of the bathrooms. We'd know who's going in there. Can't put a camera in the bathroom, all right? Because
Right. Can't
so-
we get like a trail cam or something just temporarily, just to?
Yeah,
guard
but you have to
our stuff?
swap batteries out and everything else on those too. And you have to pull a memory card out of them. It's,
Yeah,
if you're
this
gonna
way,
do it right.
this way with the cameras, like the one up there, the one behind me here, they'd be on all the time. It's 24/7 type thing. And if there's any incidents whatsoever, they'd review that and see who actually did it. I've had it I've seen it in schools where they can zoom right in on the person and identify it. And then as, professors, we were all, do you know who this is? I'm like, well, yeah, he sits in my class. And, and that's how, that's pretty much how they do it here too.
Okay, so, I guess, yeah, back to it. If you guys want to set up the tree, that's something we're gonna need to plan for. Also see how the township feels about it, if there's any pushback from that. Other than that, I think, we'll just stick with the pavilions. We already have all the lights and everything. We just may need a few minor things like stakes, et cetera, to set these things up, so. Okay, any new matters to bring up? Nope.
I did hear from Wendy, and she was actually gonna come tonight, but she did not, sorry. She had a death in the family, but she is definitely gonna turn in her letter to get on the board.
Yay, Wendy with an eye?
Yes.
Who-
The Wendy that did the luau at Cannonsburg Pool for the kids.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you mentioned her. Cool. I have not heard from Pastor John Patterson. He said he would have that letter in. He had to go before the congregation to see if he could take on anything more, but they probably will not have a problem with him joining. That should be 7 at that point, if we have Wendy and John. John's wife is very busy. She's with an accrediting body that goes all over Middle Eastern states. She's, let's see, Mideast something. Anyway, they accredit colleges and universities. And having been through that with Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, that is brutal. So she would like to join, but she just doesn't have the time. So hopefully we'll get a letter from him as well, and that'll round out the board.
Okay,
Dan, do you want to talk about that thing I gave you?
oh, yes. Or do you want to talk about it before the dates or after the dates?
Yeah, we can
Oh,
talk
I guess
about
no, we can do it now. It's any new matters. Jack had these. These are from 2017. There is a mail it letter and also a magnet. And if I do recall right, you said we can possibly send these magnets out with the water bills, if I'm not mistaken, you said, Jack? If you guys want to take a look at that, that's something that we, do you know who made these ones, Jack?
I do not. That came through PSATs. Yeah.
I remember that. That was,
We had one, it was bigger though. Remember the
Yeah.
one they sent out?
I don't remember it being a magnet, but it was like this, and the idea was like you
Yeah.
stuck it on your fridge
was
and it
real
had
big, like that
everything
big.
at once.
Notice on the back side of that, there's township pertinent information that would help out as well. You know, we can send it out for the police department, for public works, for the municipal authority, you know, contact, and that type of thing.
I like the magnet.
I think Dan, when I first, mentioned it to him, there's some concern about the card itself. That magnet is ready-made. You throw it up on the refrigerator, and it can be there. It can hold something else, you know. Who did it? I'm not sure. Again, this was something that came through PSATs. It's the supervisors group, and I'm going to reach out to them to find out who this was. Granted, it's 2017, but I think it was more. It was just given out recently, but it was more for advertising to show what can be done. It's an idea. There's plenty more ways to do things out there, but I think we ought to get back to sending something out like they did years ago.
Yeah, I remember them talking about like the postage. I guess that was Glenn, like he had it all figured out, like what size it was allowed to be for this much money and.
Yeah, Glenn certainly is, I mean, as a postmaster, he can help us out in that area. You know, if we send it out, bulk mail, you know, or if there's an indicia, it's a lot cheaper that way as well. Indicia is that stamp that's already printed on the envelope or whatever we're going to mail it out with. And we can make them available. People can pick them up. You know, we can have some out here. We can have them at our events. People can take them with them. You know, my concern is with that magnet, don't get a credit card near it. You know, I mean, unfortunately, we're still, you know, at that point where it'll wipe out everything on the back of your credit card. Your credit card basically be useless if you run it up against a magnet. And that's the only drawback that I know to something like that. Otherwise, it'd be great just to, you know, put it up on a refrigerator. That way they'd know what events are coming. You know, they know what's coming and when.
Also, like when they send the taxes out, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, we could do that.
Because that's like in the late spring, we would know.
I have a good enough relationship with both taxing, like Keystone and Jordan Tax, but primarily Jordan Tax. And if we can have the stuff to them a month in advance, they'll make sure it goes out in every envelope.
Well, see, like for me, for example, I don't see them.
Oh, because your taxes are
It goes all around escrow. I don't see those.
Yeah, he would give me a list of everybody that it went to, and then I would have to compare it to the rest of the list in Cecil to see who didn't get it.
Yeah, but everybody gets a water bill. Is that something we could?
Well, not necessarily, because we still have, I want to say about 25 or 30% of the township that's still on well water. So, you know, they don't have sewage, they don't have water. Granted, they go hand in hand. You know, if they cut your water off, they cut the sewage off. If they cut your sewage off, they cut the water off. You
And
know, so-
renters wouldn't get it if the landlord got the bill.
Yeah,
Say
that's
again?
true.
Renters,
They won't get it because the landlord was going to get it.
Yeah, that's a problem. Now, there is a way to find out who's renting and who's not, you know? I mean, there's that designator. So, I mean, the first mailing probably would go through a Jordan Tax to anybody that gets a tax bill, all right? We could then petition CTMA to send it out. Now, would there be overlap? Yeah. Maybe that's an opportunity for them to give it to somebody else, you know?
What about waste management? The Waste management sends out their own schedule.
They
Yeah, they
do.
send out theirs.
I don't even get the schedule. I mean, I have 2021 still on there because I never got the schedule for this year, you know? And,
Because I could tell you, like, these magnets I have on my fridge. These, I have no idea where these are go.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, the magnet I would use,
stuff
I would keep.
yeah, I mean, the Post-its never stay at my house for some reason. The magnets stay at my house.
Mine too.
really, we wouldn't even be looking to do anything until first of the year, simply because, you know, the schedule's not gonna be ready. When are they gonna stock the streams, and, you know, when's Easter? Yeah, we have a basic itinerary now, but, you know, it's something to think about. Just, you know, if you come up with another idea, fantastic, but I think we should get back to mailing stuff out.
No, I
Maybe we should
like
have
it.
it with the garbage bill.
I think it's a
mean,
great
maybe
idea.
Everybody gets a garbage bill, right?
I don't, problem with waste management is it's, yeah, like the,
Mine's all electronic. I don't even see a bill.
Plus, you'd have the same thing with the renters.
Yeah.
okay.
How did Glenn do it before? Like just everybody?
Yeah, they just sent these out with postage. The postage, I think, if I remember correctly, we already looked into this, and I think the postage was close to $3,000 with these cards, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Well, can't you just give them to the mail, mail carriers when they give them, like, same thing when they picking all the junk mail up to give you?
Have
They
you
just
met our
can't give you one of
postmaster,
those?
Lawrence?
Like, put it in your mailbox with your mail?
Yeah, I'll ask Glenn for,
I mean,
yeah.
they can give me a flyer for, I need home remodeling. I'm sure they can put one of those in there.
Our postmaster decided I vacated my home and started sending my mail back.
I'll stay home more often.
Hey, I got a gentleman, he's 98 years old, he lives up in Ridgewood, Mr. Roby, you might know him. He put in a change of address, all right, for him. He's getting all his mail until that time, except his absentee ballot.
That's what I didn't get. That is when I knew my mail was missing.
He came in my office, I called up there, oh yeah, we got it back. Why? Well, I don't know, we'll send it again. Is he gonna be there? Yeah, he's gonna be there. Send it again, it got bounced back. It's like, why is it only the ballots, But that's one of the problems, it's like selective, delivery, so.
That's what concerned me, is it was when my mail and ballot showed up that he started sending my mail back.
No, you're all good, all good. 2023 event dates to correspond. Wait a minute, why does this not sound right? All right, Wendy, I'm sure you've already looked at all these, correct? Like when Easter is and everything? Because if we do April 8th, Easter Sunday is the 9th.
You know what, that I didn't look at. I forgot Easter moves around based on,
So we could do April 1st, which
Yeah,
is
we'd
April
wanna move
Fool's
it
Day.
ahead
Do you
of
want to
time.
move that week before? Okay. All right, let's do,
compared to the fishing derby, though.
I'm not worried about the fishing derby. Yeah, because that's a month after. Here's the thing. Let's finish up Easter. Let's move Easter egg hunt preemptively to April 1st, 2023. The fishing derby, I would like to hear back from, not hear back, I'm sorry. I would like to see what the stalking schedule is. John, the PFBC guy who stalks the stream down here, said, hey, if you're going to have this derby and I know about it, he's going to make sure that, the fish are in there. If I can correspond, like they usually stock on like Tuesday or Wednesday. That way we're already going to have a fresh load of fish in for the derby, plus the supplemental fish that we put in that's only going to, have greater odds for the kids.
Call it something else instead of calling it a derby. Fun fishing day or something. Just something, because people still ask, do you have prizes?
Well, we do have prizes.
Yeah, no, they mean for biggest fish
Biggest fish, smallest fish, prettiest fish, ugliest fish, like,
derby.
Oh, okay.
See, that was the original intent. When Jennifer, and everybody started talking about it, it was supposed to have specific prizes for, the biggest fish. But the problem is people are coming just for a short period of time. They're not sticking around, they're coming late, and it's just, I like the idea of changing it, but, for right now, we could add something. Those prizes some of those kids got last time were really nice. Dan did a great job.
yeah,
with
I
those.
keep trying to, I always make a stop through the clearance section of Walmart. Whenever it's cheapest, I'm picking it up. Yeah. So and if you catch it at the right time, you can get some decent stuff, like $40 fishing rods for $10-12. And like I said, to me, that'd be a great starter rod if I was just starting to fish. It's a good rod in general, let alone,
Well, just think
starter
about
rod.
it before I create anything for advertising.
Yeah, I'll try to think something. The only reason I don't like biggest fish, smallest fish, is I have to have judges everywhere, or they have to take that fish and then bring it to a judging table. And like when the professionals do it, they have live well bags. Well, these people don't have these kind of things. So that kind of promotes fish kill. And me, I'm a big promoter of catch and release. People do whatever they want. I have no problem with what they do with their fish, but
Rather it be a fun day.
yeah.
Are we trying to direct it more toward the kids or the adults or both?
No, it's kids. So,
Then why have any kind of competition really, I guess, that kind of stuff if it's for the
Exactly.
kids?
right. So, I agree 100%. And I also would like to, I don't want to say crack down because technically I can't close the stream off, but the kids throwing rocks in the streams and the adults fishing for the kids has got to kind of slow down. And I said something, and I probably wasn't as nice as I should have been last year, but that kind of stuff kind of irks me. Like, give the kids 3 hours to fish, and then you can do whatever you want for the rest of the day. I don't care. So that just, like I said, that just kind of irks me a little bit. And most of the people are fine. There's grown adults that see a big fish, and it happens on the youth volunteer days too. It just is what it is. Not everybody is a great sportsman. I'll just leave it at that. So I'm going to kind of up in the air about this April 29th, Wendy. I usually see the fish stocking schedule probably don't release that until mid-January, but they've changed so much since COVID. Like COVID, they opened up early. Last year, they ended up opening, they used to have 2 opening days. One was for the southeast region, and then the rest of the state. They've now backed that off to just 1 opening day, which has moved everything 2 weeks early. So it's thrown their whole stock. Usually I can time their first day, their first stocking, and then their second. Like, it's usually 2 weeks after the opening day. I don't know what it's going to be this year.
Well, my thought on even throwing the dates on there for this time was because Jack's also working on the baseball schedule using the fields. So I kind of wanted him to have something that if he sees something coming up as a conflict, he'd get a chance to actually touch base with us on it.
Let me expand a little bit on that, just so everybody knows what we're doing. We've, as Dan knows, we have a interesting relationship with the various leagues, all starting with CM. And that would mean soccer, youth girls softball, youth boys baseball. It looks like what's going to happen is we're going to be pulling all those schedules in under our umbrella. Now, they're going to maintain their own schedules and everything, but right as it stands right now, anybody that wants to come in and use one of these ball fields has to go through CMYBA, Canada McMillan Youth Baseball Association. We've had issues where there's a growing Indian population, not only in Carnegie, but now in Cecil, and they like to play cricket, right? There's really no reason, if our field is sitting here and they want to rent the field to play cricket, they should be able to. Well, the problem is they'd have to go through CMYBA to get that, and the only way you get in touch with CMYBA is through email, and so there's the problem. So what we're looking at doing is making a master schedule so that we know what CMYBA, CMYGSA, and the soccer CMYSA, I don't know. Just knowing what where they're going to be, what time they're going to be there, and that type of thing. So if we have holes in that schedule, we can say, okay, yeah, the field is available. We had a team from Chartiers Valley that called us, hey, can we borrow your field tonight? I'm like, okay, give me a rider, insurance rider, and you can have it. They don't want to use a concession stand. They just want to use the field to practice. So that's what we're looking to do. In the near future, all that scheduling is going to be under our umbrella. I'm not going to say control because it's their schedules. We're just going to be able to look at one big calendar and say, I know what's going on in Cecil Park or Falcone Fields or wherever. And that way, we'll know if somebody, like Dan and I ran into a problem last year, not this past summer, but a year ago summer, where we're having movie night, and here comes CMYBA to drag the field. It's like, no, no.
Kicked him out.
Not with all this equipment and all these people sitting here. You're not going to be kicking up that kind of dust. Well, what do you want me to do? Come back later, And I let Dan handle that. So, he was very effective. So.
Well, he also had that one year he had to kick him out of having a game there.
Yeah, that was Touch Truck. They had a all-star game, it was an all-star game. They
That's
brought
right.
in another team to come in, and I said, can't play here today. Like, this is going to be full of trucks. So,
Yeah.
No big deal. Has girls softball actually reached out to use that field? Have they? No, okay.
They use Lawrence. They use Lawrence Field
That's right.
predominantly.
Yeah.
that's not their home field. They have another field that they use.
Town Park, yeah.
Yeah, Town Park is their number one field, but they also use Lawrence because nobody else does.
Right, yeah, they have practices out there. I don't think they do any games. It's just practices.
6 days a week they have practices out there. So and pretty much the spring semester, or yeah, the spring season is the big one. That goes, I think, March to June, and then the fall season starts in July. And they have a lot fewer people signing up in July for the fall than they do in the spring.
Okay, moving on. Sorry, hang on. So we're kind of up in the air a little bit for the fishing derby for the time being, Wendy. I'll try to keep, as soon as I hear something, I will absolutely message you and let you know. I'm hoping that by early January, mid-January, they have the schedule out, and I'll know exactly when to pin that. Now, not that I ever want to do a back-to-back weekend, but since they did move that 2 weeks earlier, let's see. You know, if we do April 1st as the Easter egg hunt, the 9th will be Easter Sunday. That means the 8th Saturday. I mean, we can either do the 15th or the 22nd, I think is more realistic, but I'll know for sure.
Okay.
15th or the 22nd. Then that'll put us at Touch a Truck on May 13th. What's the 14th? Mother's Day is the 14th. Are we okay with Saturday on the 13th for Touch a Truck? Okay. Let's leave that one there. June 10th, nothing going on. We'll have to figure out a movie for that. Community Day, July 22nd. You good with that, Steph?
I'll be missing that one again.
How rude.
Again?
His birthday day, man. That's actually mine, but I'll be celebrating his.
Car cruise,
That's going to be the 20th. August 20th is traditionally, it's the third Sunday
Sunday.
of the month.
And are we trying to do like that backup rain day for them?
that's up to them to decide. I think we should reach out to them, but that cannot be up against Fall Festival.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't get my mail for a week, and my mail got returned.
We may have another request for like the Shetland League or something along those lines.
When did they do that last year? I'm sorry.
It was on the one movie night. I remember we
We
had to
rescheduled.
change it. Yeah.
So that was in August, right?
August 18th.
18th.
Yeah, it was right by Community Day.
So next year, that would be probably the 19th or 20th. We have to keep that. So we do have that movie night for August 19th. But if we do the rodeo, is that something we kind of, not that it's for certain, but do we?
I think we moved the movie night up ahead a week.
No, you moved
back
it
a week.
The Friday.
from
Oh,
Saturday
we
to
did
Friday.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
if
that's
car
right.
cruise is the 20th, we should definitely move
Car
movie
cruise
night,
is the
right?
20th.
That's 2 nights in a row. It just gets hard.
It gets
You
to be a
know
little
what?
much.
If Shetland wants to do this every year, I'm okay with ditching movie night in August and maybe doing a movie night for Halloween in October.
I think it's a great idea.
You guys good with that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's,
I'm all for it.
yeah, all right, let's kind of pencil in Shetland, get your feelers out.
Yep.
We'll pencil in, because actually, ideally, I wouldn't want them on that 19th and 20th. If they can go the 12th, Jack, August 12th,
Yeah.
Well, if they do the 19th, is the car cruise the 20th?
right, that's what I'm saying. Or they can push out to the 26th, the 12th or the 26th, probably, Jack.
So it's either it's back-to-back weekends for us if we're helping.
Either way, it is.
Just so you'll know, the reason it came down to the 18th was that was when CMYBA had the field open.
Okay,
All right, so if we go at it sooner, we'll probably have more choices for them. And it may actually be earlier, like in July.
well, okay, so July 22nd is Community Day, and if we push out 2 weeks, I mean, that'll put them at August 5th, or 3 weeks at August 12th, or, you know,
Is
the
this
week
like-
after.
I'm sorry to interrupt, I didn't mean that, but is this like gonna be an official event from us now?
No, we just do concession stands, so it's gonna be kind of like the
So
car
it really is
cruise.
not like, in terms of like,
Planning.
2 weeks in a row,
No.
like, it's not our commit.
And they should have to help with
Okay,
the
yeah, I was
concessions.
just gonna say, I'm not
The
sure.
reason we did it was to make the money. all right? And if you recall, I said, I'm not asking anybody on the board to participate, okay? No one. I had some volunteers, and they showed up, and I had some other people come in, so no, it's not an official Parks and Recreation event. What it is a community helping another community out.
No, I love the idea of it. I just am like, and when we start scheduling like event, 3 weeks in a row, it just,
And they also
Inevitably,
kind of
it's just hard to do.
misrepresented that it was for.
We did
like,
make a lot of money that night, though, too.
handicap
Yeah, we
kids
did.
or
Well,
something.
Well, not only that, they donated a lot of soda, and, I mean,
Well, I mean,
it was beneficial. We'll leave it at that.
I think this year, though, if we have issues like we did again this year, you can't keep having it then. And they need to know that.
Issues in what respect?
Remember, I guess, the
Selling
beer,
beer.
I don't know.
That was
Fireworks.
Oh, you're right, that was Shetland.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah, and that,
weren't people fighting or something?
We
were
thought,
drinking
we thought it
and
was gonna be handicapped kids, too.
Yeah, I mean, they misled us with that. So,
I think there's gonna be a different coordinator next year. So, I mean, first time through, I didn't expect the beer, nobody mentioned the beer to me.
oh, I know, it's not, nothing with
And,
you. I mean,
you
it's
know,
just,
it was taken care of. Yeah, I mean, I know what I was told several times. I know what was written up. And, yeah, it was somewhat misleading, but I think we're all on the same page now.
they just need to be transparent, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah.
Okay, moving on, and that'll put us,
the final date that we're penciling in, just for the notes.
I don't have a final date, but I probably would push them to the 5th or the 12th, probably early August.
Okay.
You're talking Shetland.
Yeah. Because July 22nd is going to be the Community Day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with them doing it all. It's a matter of us loaning them the field. In this case, from now on, we're gonna rent them the field, so they can do whatever they want to. If they want to use a concession stand, they can, you know. I mean, we made $750 that night for not doing very much. And, you know, again, I want to emphasize that, you know, I stood right there and said, none of you are being asked, you're welcome to volunteer, but none of you are being asked because we have a full schedule.
If I'm not out of town, I'll be there. I think I was just coming back. or
Fine,
something
I'm
from
not
that
coming
one.
anymore.
You didn't help anyway.
Listen to you.
3 till 10, like, it was a long night.
Give me that candy
Hopefully,
bar
like,
back.
if we have 2 more
They
board
have it on a
members,
different
it's gonna
night
be,
than my
like,
reunion
easier.
night,
Hey,
I'll
when you leave,
volunteer.
stop by. I'll give
If we get those 2 more board members, then I
Yeah.
feel
I
like,
forgot 'em.
you know, like there's never,
Yeah, it would be good.
hopefully there's not gonna be an issue anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Fall Festival is pushing us to September 30th and October 1st. That can't change. Last weekend, right? It always goes into the very first, it even goes into October 1st, if it's the very last weekend, so. And Trail of Treats, that'll put us on the 21st. Or do we want to push that another week? That would put us right up against Halloween. What do you guys feel? What are you guys thinking?
21st is good.
21st isn't bad.
Guys all right with that?
I like having it the week ahead,
That way it gives you a little bit of a buffer.
yeah.
Okay, keep that at 21st.
In case it rains.
What?
I was just thinking you could get the Trail of Treats candy and then hand out that candy for Halloween.
And the light up night, December 9th. Okay, anybody have anything else tonight?
Jack, did you find out anything for me about the Girl Scouts and that bench?
I did not. I apologize. I will,
What bench?
I'll do it tomorrow. I will stake my life on it.
Reached over and grabbed the microphone.
Yeah, Girl Scouts want to, now this isn't like Cecil Township Girl Scouts, but it's a Girl Scout troop that wants to do something for the park. In this case, it's Lawrence, right? So, and they do need benches over there. They need places to sit.
What do you mean, that cinder block wall ain't good enough there, Wendy?
I'm gonna try to get rid of that, okay? With everything that they're talking about, I mean, you know, there's, some talk that, down the road, a concession stand going over there. They need a shed to put their equipment. Somebody's, donating a quad so they can drag the field, you know. It's looking that, Lawrence is getting a lot more, attention. It's a beautiful field. I mean, with the playground and everything we put over there. Parking is atrocious. I mean.
Yeah, well, water really hurts that field.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's clay underneath it.
Yeah, they need a lot of attention on that field if they want to start dragging that.
Well, I talked to Bill about that, and he said they've got to dig down and put drainage in there. So,
I mean, that it would rain, and 3 days after the rain, it would still be soggy out there.
hey, Musefield was the same way. I played on that when I was, Little League Baseball, and besides the sewer that ran down through the outfield into the second base line, you know, that place was water all the time. It just laid on there, you know, for days after it rained, and you know, we were just glad to have a field.
Anything else? Anybody? Anybody? Meeting adjourned, 7:23.
I got a whole box.
Wendy.
Yes.